me try that again. How's everyone doing today?
Great.
Great. Miss seeing you guys. I haven't been since I got kicked off of the board. Haven't been able to attend the meetings because it's been super busy in the marketplace, which I know that you all are enjoying the way that the industry is on an upswing. So, as you know, it's either feast or famine, and I think we're into a big time feast, so that's very exciting. Today we're going to, we have a panel of experts within the storage industry that's going to tackle kind of an ongoing question that you always, as business owners, as operators, that you would consistently question: when, how, and why to market all year long. You know, you typically look at a market campaign, you have it, you roll it out, you throw it out there, and then you hope things happen. But we have a panel of experts that's going to come up and actually going to talk as to what the benefits are for, okay, I thought I heard something. What the benefits are for tackling that hard question of, should you actually market all year long, and give you helpful tips specifically for large operators and for small operators. So I'm going to invite Sarah Beth Johnson, David Maxwell, and Tron Jorhan. And as these guys come up, as you know, typically we have scripted questions that we will start the conversation off. I'm going to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves in just a moment. But we have scripted questions that will kind of start the conversation going. If you look in front of you, you will have this yellow pad. During the talk, during the panel, if you have questions, please pass it. Write your questions down. I think Samantha's going to be collecting those, and she'll run them up to us. But right now, we're going to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves to the audience.
Hi, I'm Tron Jordheim. I'm with Store Here Management. I've been in the self-storage business for almost 17 years now. I founded the largest of the outsourced self-storage call centers at the time, and at our peak we answered for about 5,000 self-storage facilities all across North and Central America. At the same time, I also became the Chief Marketing Officer for the parent company of the call center, and we were marketing for 165 properties, half in the US, half in Canada, before I left about 2 years ago to join Store Here. And we're a third-party management firm. We also own sites and run a call center for the industry. So lots of ways we can help people grow and had some interesting marketing experiences. So hopefully we can throw a few good things at you.
My name is David Maxwell, and I'm a site manager for Universal Storage Group. My site is A Alpha Mini Storage. I've been in this industry for a little over a year now. I do have business experience running several other types of businesses, from construction to finance. And hopefully we can tell you something you didn't know today.
I'm Sarah Beth Johnson, and I'm with Universal Storage Group. I work directly with Ann. I've been in the industry on and off 4 years, doing my current job, client development, for 2.5. I have 2 boys. One graduates next week. He got accepted into the University of Central Florida Honor College to study cybersecurity, and is graduating summa cum laude. So I'm excited. But it makes me cry that he's But I do client development. I also do phase 3 marketing training. So anytime we take on a new client, I go down and teach the new managers how to do our marketing programs, and any new managers that are hired, I also teach them as well. And I also was a site manager for 2 different facilities, one that was already going and one that was in lease up. So hopefully I can bring some of that experience today.
Great. Well, you're crying because he's leaving now, and you will be crying when he returns home. Or at least I do.
Hopefully he'll return home making $150,000.
Cry me a river. So, the first question that we will start off with, why should we spend time and money to market if occupancy rates are high? And as you know, in this marketplace right now, typically occupancy rates are high. But the question is, why should we spend time and money to market if the occupancy rates are high?
Well, occupancy rates vary, so sometimes they're going to be high and sometimes they're going to be low. And why would you not stay out there and stay in front of everyone so that when they do need storage, they'll remember you? We're not public, we're not Uncle Bob's Life Storage, we're not Extra Space, so we don't have the bazillion dollars to spend keeping ads on commercials out there all the time. So you need to have your manager be out there in front of people constantly, whether it's giving them a pen or just saying hi and wearing their name tag or bringing them a cupcake. You know, if it's Valentine's Day, bring the baker's cupcakes, whatever it may be. But you need to keep your name out there no matter how big or little it is, because we have to compete with the big guys, and they've got a lot more money to do it with, but we also have a lot more personality than they do, so.
I would say the reason you market year-round, first off, you're never full. And if you are full, you're not charging enough. So that alone is a good enough reason to market constantly. But like she said, I agree with, you want to constantly be selling your brand. Keep your logo and yourself in front of the people that you're looking to rent to in the future.
So sometimes we do things because we're afraid of the future. And so if your store is full and you're not marketing, you should be very afraid of the future, because there's a lot of new supply coming into markets all over the place. And to just sit back and collect rent because you're full sets you up for perhaps a very unpleasant time in the next year or two, whenever it happens. So it is a defense against the future to continue marketing. But also, if your store is full, you have an excellent opportunity for doing rate management. And what you should be doing is try to replace some of your customers who are currently there with higher paying customers. And that's an important piece of the marketing as well.
On the tail end of that, answer this quickly. So you've all talked about how you should market all year long, and it's either, you know, donuts or giveaways or out in front of the customer, and that's a true surefire way of marketing. But are there other things that you should be doing? Should customer service be rolled up into your marketing plan? Because when your customers meet your managers, it's not a campaign, but it's actually a part of your marketing, because it's, I think as David said, it's actually protecting your brand. So just can someone speak on you know, the marketing all year long, not just through giveaways and your marketing campaign, but also just your day-to-day operations with your customers?
Well, I mean, y'all know I'm not a friendly person. I knew everyone that walked into my site. I knew all of my tenants. I probably could tell you everyone's life history to this day. I mean, I can walk through my site right now and be like, this person had all the baseball stuff. This person had a telecommunications company. I had, you know, you have to get that one-on-one. So really, you're not marketing just the place, you're marketing yourself too. So if your manager doesn't have that outgoing personality and isn't going to engage with your current tenants and be able to, you know, bring them a bottle of water. I played football I had a big screen TV in my lobby, and every Sunday when the Falcons were playing, I had it on the TV, and I would put on Facebook, hey, I have the Falcons game, you know, if you need to come by your storage unit. And I had Cokes and cookies and whatever, and, you know, just being engaged with those people and being friendly. And hey, you know, make sure you give them my referral card, and you know how good I took care of you. So being that person that somebody can come to and be able to trust you, and a lot of them, I mean, I had a couple, people that were getting divorced and, hey, it's last minute, but I have to get this stuff out of the house, can you help me out? Sure. I know what you're going through. I'm going to make sure it's all set for you. But you have to have that personality that people can trust and that they want to send more people to you. You're not just there to take their money.
Am I understanding you correctly, Tim, when you're talking about when you're engaging the customer on site? Or are you talking about?
Well, not just engagement. I'm looking at it from a holistic standpoint, because when you look at in my opinion, when you look at marketing, it's more, it goes beyond just that giving away, handing. It's making sure that the information you're given is correct the first time, that phone calls are followed up with, that if there's an email sent, that it's responded, because although we look at marketing as a giveaway or campaign or balloons, it also extends beyond that to it should be a foundational part of your business plan that extends out on an ongoing daily basis.
Yeah, and what I would say about that, I totally agree with you, and what I believe is, and this will sound a little crazy, but this goes back to when I was in second grade. I had a teacher in second grade. I don't remember anything that she ever said, but I remember this for some reason. She had this program for you get in trouble or you don't get in trouble, and it was warm fuzzy or cold prickly, and that was what your day was at the end of the day. And I don't know why I always think of that when I think of this as far as marketing goes, but I don't believe that there's anything more valuable than the way you make the people you engage feel. And that's the human side to the marketing. That's shaking their hand and making them feel like you truly want to do business with them. And people often reciprocate. When you laugh, sometimes they'll laugh. When you make them feel like you want to do business with them, they will feel the same way towards you. And that would be what I would have to say about that.
All right.
Well, I think we take the same approach on the customer service side, although we take a little bit of a different approach on the marketing side. Our staff does very little outgoing marketing. They do visit the neighbors closest to the property, but they basically stay on property and manage the customers and do that face-to-face marketing with people, where we look at the marketing more as putting our automation machine in place for the advertising and the internet marketing and so on. And what I would suggest to you is that you should take that marketing and advertising thought and look at it as if you're an event marketer, because we have events that cause demand throughout the year. So simple things like first Monday, last Monday, first weekend, last weekend. These are events. 3-day weekends are events. The Tuesday after Memorial Day, which I dub Crazy Tuesday because the stores are just crazy that day. You have these events that happen during the year, and if you look at those as marketing opportunities that you can build up for and use those in not only your social media, but in how you're creating any ads that you're doing on, let's say, AdWords, or how you're tweaking your Google My Business pages for all these events. If you look at these as actual events and think like an event marketer, it'll change what you do on a 3-day weekend. You'll raise your prices the Thursday before a 3-day weekend. You'll change your advertising for that weekend. So that's one suggestion I'd make to help you think about marketing as a year-round activity.
Okay. One of the questions, how do smaller operators compete with larger competitors or larger operators? So mom and pop, for lack of a better term, versus not even necessarily a REIT, but someone that may have 10, 12, 20 sites. How do you compete when one marketing budget, of course, is very small, and then you have a larger marketing budget?
Well, I would say for the small operator, focus on the tight ring around your property. Focus on the 5,000 or 10,000 people that are around your property, and don't worry about everybody else. And then focus on things you can do better than the larger operators. You can be more friendly with your customers than the larger operators. You can go out of the way for your customers to help them with advice and resources. And you can, through being careful how you present your social media and tweak your Google My Places, actually beat out the large operators when people are searching on their smartphones for storage. So you can be not only friendlier, but I think even more clever and more deliberate. You just have to really focus at it. That's what I would say.
I would say, I mean, generally speaking, I think marketing as a whole is a great equalizer. I think that the playing field is level, regardless of how big or how small you are. I'm in a pretty tough market. We have a lot of competitors in our market, but we're anxious to get to work. We do everything we can in marketing and visits and on-site events and social media and so on and so forth. And we try to leave no stone unturned. We try to make an extra 2 or 3 visits, or 5 or 10, or whatever we can do, but be willing to do whatever it takes. And we're not bound nearly as much as maybe a larger store would be in time constraints and things like that. We can spend that extra time. We can go that extra mile.
I think that just being out there in the community. When I was at my lease-up store, we hadn't even opened yet, and I had bags, the cloth bags with our logo on them, and I took them to the school right down the street. It was an elementary school, and they were doing a fun run, and I gave 1 bag to every single teacher. I also gave them all pencils to give out to all their kids that were branded. They put those bags on the outside of their door, and every kid and every parent had to bring the money in, had to look at my bag. It was all through the school. They also took them out onto the fun run. It's about being part of the community. If you go to an apartment complex, it's not, hey, I just want your business. It's, hey, I have my shirt on, I have my name tag on. When you have your fun days in the summer and you're short-staffed, give me a little bit of time, and if I have the extra staff, I'm gonna come help you for an hour or 2, do face painting. I'm gonna come bring bottled water or pass out your water or give away the pizza or whatever it may be, because everybody there is going to see my brand and I'm gonna be able to speak about it. If I'm out there helping them for free, no matter who it is, the school or whatever, they're not gonna be mad about me talking about my facility. So you can do things that are actually no cost, and it's just about getting your brand out there and helping people, making sure that people know you're there to help them, not what they can do for you, and they're guaranteed going to give you that business back if you're going to help them out first.
Well, I might add one more thing to that. If you support lots of local groups with either reduced rate storage or by giving a percentage of some of your profits back to them, that works great. And the larger companies can't support a baseball team or a Cub Scout troop or a whatever at every property. They can't do that. So that's an advantage you have too.
All right, very good. A question from the audience. Does marketing look different for a facility without the benefit of visibility from being located on a major road? So does marketing look, how does it?
I don't think so. I mean, you're part of your community. It's all about being part of your actual community. It doesn't matter if you're on 41 or you're on a side street off of 41. If you're getting out there, I mean, granted they have the drive-by traffic, but if they don't know who you are and they've never been in there, what would make them stop there? You have to be out in the community and you have to make them stop there. Give them a reason to come to your store. Not just hope to God that because 20,000 cars go by your facility, that one of those people is going to stop there one day.
I couldn't agree more. I think you do your marketing regardless. You may have an advantage by having more visibility at one location than the other, but I don't think that there is any reason to not go out and tell the community that you're there and you want to do business with them.
Well, I take a little different approach to that. I think without the benefit of drive-by traffic, you're really rowing against the wind. So you've got to work harder on being more clever with how you're doing your advertising, and probably spend more money and make more visits. If you wouldn't normally make visits, you're going to have to do them when you have a property like that, because being able to talk to people about the landmarks you're next to, and just the familiarity of people passing your store, because they'll know, you know, there's a store over there on Main Street, and when they search for self-storage on Main Street, something will click. They'll recognize the color or the logo or something, and now that's your customer. Without that benefit, you have a disadvantage. You can overcome it to a certain point, but it's tough.
Another question from the audience. How do you market, promote the cold technology? So things, I think the speaker, the commercial earlier talked about the cell phone. So how do you promote or market the cold technology as a warm and fuzzy feeling, you know, creating that need? Security cameras, software with all of their data. So how do you, the experience of the customer, although whether it's through technology or it's actually face-to-face, how can you translate that warm and fuzzy feeling through technology?
I would say safety. I mean, I don't think there's anything more warm than safety. One of the things that we do, we make sure, especially women customers, female customers who come to our site, we make sure they know that we have a camera. They're in full view of cameras at all times, and you know, the keypads that we have, also the ability for them to get in but not someone behind them, things of that nature. I think safety is, you know, the technology is providing the safety, and the safety is a warm feeling.
I was a big one of this. So when people would come to my store, and I'm not going to do the whole story, they would start in my office and we'd start off talking about what they needed. And then I had a system. So I would walk out the door and there were cameras. As you can see, there are cameras. When you walked into the office, you saw the 4 TV screens behind you. I can always see what's going on at any point in this property. When we walked up front, I showed them the keypad, showed them exactly how it worked with my code, and made sure that they understood how it worked, who could get in, who couldn't get in, and the times that people could get in. And you walk them through your entire, I'm a visual person. I can't just tell somebody, hey, you need a 10 by 10, and you know, that's what's gonna fit in it. I would walk them in and I would show them exactly how things fit into the 10 by 10 and walk them through the entire process of them coming in the entire property, and made sure they saw every bit of it so that they got that warm and fuzzy when they were walking through. You could call me on the call button, whatever it may be, especially women. If they knew that and they knew, you know, that you were there watching, then it was a no-brainer. I mean, technology sold itself.
I think, oh, go ahead.
Well, I've seen that people's concept of convenience has changed a lot over the years in self-storage, where we used to sell people the convenience of being able to tap their numbers into the PIN pad and how easy the doors rolled and things like that. And now the convenience that we sell is how few clicks it takes to rent a unit on your mobile phone, and how easy it is to tap the Pay My Bill button. So the technology has allowed us to offer a much more convenient transaction and a much more convenient experience for people. And we're all addicted to our smartphones, and we need something that gives us quick satisfaction on our smartphones, or we get bored with it very quickly. So if you use the technology well and make it easy for people to do transactions, then you've given them the warm and fuzzy, because they can do a few swipes and a few taps and they're done. And now you're golden in their book. So,
very good. Give us a few tips on how best to maintain the everyday duties and still keep up with all the different pieces of marketing. So you have your everyday, all day grind, for lack of a better word, versus campaigns, going out, helping at schools, that type of thing to promote your brand, support your brand. How do you juggle that? How do you maintain that?
It's not easy sometimes. Sometimes you struggle and sometimes there's going to be days that you fail, but you try to at least do something every day. It doesn't take but a minute to get on Facebook and post a post. It doesn't take but a minute to call, 2 or 3 businesses and remind them that you have, it's, the end of the year, you have 5x5s and this is how much they are. You'd love for them to come take a tour. You go to the bank to do your deposit, take 2 things with you that are already made up that you did at the beginning of the month and go to 2 places. You do 2 places, you can hit your 40, we like to try to at least at a minimum do 40 visits a month. And some days you're going to have more time, or when you go out to lunch, add in those couple extra minutes to go do it then. But you have to plan out what you're going to do that month with your area manager or whoever it may be, and come up with a plan monthly and daily and have it on a sheet that you have to check off. And like I said, don't be upset when it doesn't work out, but try to make it up the next day.
First, I would say lots of Outlook or calendar reminders on my phone. Lots of both of those, actually. But I agree with what Sarah Beth said. It requires attention daily. And some days that's going to be a few minutes, with a social post or something along that lines. Other days it may be a couple of 3 hours planning an event for the following quarter or the following year, depending on where you're at and what you're doing. But it should be mindful, or you should be mindful of it daily.
So the trick is it's got to be scheduled and on a checklist, but someone has to maintain that checklist and supervise that checklist, or the people will get busy doing their day-to-day and they'll never do the things you'd like them to do, and there's no one reminding them and coaching them and helping them do it, and then it all just falls to the wayside. So you really have to manage the process. And the people who are successful at having their local managers do marketing have a solid process in place that gets managed very well. So you have to decide how much managing of this process can I do, and that's all I can do. So you shouldn't be looking at what can my manager do, but what can you as the supervisor handle, and that's the goal you should set going forward.
Wait, I have one thing.
Okay.
Just to do that, you have to train them how to do it. It doesn't come naturally. I can go out and I can talk to anybody. Back when I did real estate, we did cold calls all the time. The person on the other end doesn't know you from Adam, and if they don't like you, they'll hang up on you. But you go in and you just present yourself and train your manager how to do that. Don't just go, okay, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Have a good day. If you don't take them out and show them what you want and make them comfortable doing it all, or show them how to use Facebook schedule if they're not good at it, or whatever it may be, they're not going to be successful. So you have to take ownership as an owner and as a manager, area manager, and not just throw people to the wolves either.
On the heels of that, we have a question that is very, talks about what's your favorite marketing tool. But I'm going to ask you, have you ever encountered, or how do you determine when a marketing campaign or a marketing habit or tool is not working? How do you, what determines when you pull the plug on it? The ROI, the return on the investment, the time and the resources that you're spending out for. And just quick answers, but what's kind of how do you decide when you've been busting your tail and you're not getting people in the door that you pull the plug? So.
I wish I don't know how to answer that question, and I'm just no, and I don't want to say that. I don't want to sound like that. But at my site, we've been very fortunate. We have a great marketing plan. I was trained by some really good people, and so far everything we've done we've had success in, and I'm glad to say that. I wish I could answer that question better. I feel like I'm avoiding the question.
No.
I'm just being honest.
Well, we watch the statistics, and if something's not creating traffic or not creating engagement or not creating conversions, then there's no point in doing it. Unless it's something that builds reputation and builds noise in the community, right? So some of these things are impossible to track, but because there's no way they can be bad, you should keep doing them. Like visiting the 5 businesses that are within a 1-minute walk from your shop. Well, that you do whether that has a return on investment or not, because there's no way that can hurt you. But when you're doing larger campaigns that take time and take money, then if they don't produce, you got to stop them quick, and if you want to try something else, great. But there's so many tried and true things that if you promote them, you know they're going to create traffic. So it's easy to just focus on what converts.
I think you just have to keep trying. I mean, of course, when we have people that start book clubs or wine clubs or whatever it may be, it might bomb the first few times, but it takes time to get the word out, and you have to make sure you're doing it correctly. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to do a pet adoption and invite these people and let's hope to God people show up. You have to put forth the effort to get the people there, and granted, some things are not going to work out, but I mean, I can't think of anything that's really too, as far as on internet marketing aside, on the ground marketing, there are very few things that are going to cost you that much money that you can't try just one more time. You know, try, at least give it 2 tries. Don't just try it one time and go, oh, nobody showed up, I failed. You know, keep it going. You know, yard sales don't cost that much money. You have to get people to help sponsor them. As long as you know how to get people to help sponsor it and get people to give and take. I had a grand opening, and every person in my little strip mall behind me gave me something. I had people giving me jewelry to raffle off that day because I took their ad that they gave me and I put it on my TV screen for 1 month and put it on my Facebook page for a month and cross-promoted them. It didn't cost me anything, hardly. I had to pay for the food, and I only paid part of that because I did it with the barbecue place next door. So if you figure it out and you learn how to work your contacts and you help each other, there's very few things that are going to be that costly on the ground marketing wise that you can at least give a second chance.
Last question. Thank you very much, Sarah. Last question. Is marketing affected by the first of the month and anniversary billing cycle?
I would say no, because whether your billing is first of the month or anniversary, leases are still up at the end of the month, and you get busy on the first Monday, first weekend, last Monday, last weekend anyway. So I don't think that really impacts the habits of the people that we do business with.
Having people come in to pay your bills is a marketing tool. Not everybody's going to pay online. Some people still, grandma still likes to come in and talk to you and get her coffee and tell you about her grandkids and show you pictures. And that's your chance to tell her about all the cool things you have coming up. So anybody coming in to pay a bill is a marketing opportunity. It's not just going out. Every person that walks into your place, if they feel that warm fuzzy, is going to go out and tell your story for you. And that's just a free opportunity.
I like to market on, this is the face-to-face marketing that we go and do. I like to market on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, most days. Monday, somebody may have had a long weekend. I went to go see so-and-so and wanted to, and that's my favorite part of the marketing as well, is meeting the people and so on and so forth. The longer I live, the harder it is to find people who haven't heard all my stories. So doing the hand-to-hand and shaking in a 2 or 3 minute conversation and trying to make an impression on them and allow them to do the same with me excites me, and so I want to be able to go and see as many of those people as I can, and if I do that on Tuesday and Wednesday, I figure they're most likely to be there.
Well, so maybe now that I think about the first of the month anniversary thing, if you want your managers to be calm, cool, and collected and friendly, then probably anniversary is better for you, because first of the month, days 1 through 3, they're running around like crazy people. So if that's worth anything to you, so.
Thank you, guys. Well, I think that we all benefited from what we've heard today. I know that marketing can be a scary thing or something that you do not necessarily want to approach. But I think each day you market your business with every handshake, every gesture. And I think that's the big takeaway, is that you make sure that it is an everyday, ongoing process. But let's give the panel a round of applause for this. And we're adjourned.
Great. Had to jump off the chair.